Hi there, this is K4A, Knowledge for All educational videos channel. We are continuing with Scratch tutorials, we are continuing with learning Scratch blocks, and in this video we are going to try to learn how and when to use Scratch block, which is named Set Rotation Style. Okay, let's go to Scratch to see this in action. In previous video we have coded our cat to move left and right, up and down, and when it goes to the left it should turn itself around like pointing to the left. That looks good but not good enough. Cat looks to the left, but the problem is it also goes upside down. So we have fixed one problem but made another one. We have made our cat look to the left, but now it's upside down, and we don't want that for our game. We want our cat to look normal and to behave normal, so legs should be down and head should be up like when going to the right. Okay, let's try to solve it now with this new block, and this new block says set rotation style. I will drag and drop it here on our Scratch programming window. This is also one of the motion blocks, and it is blue. And let's see what this block does. In couple of last videos we have explained what direction is. Direction is rotation of our sprite character on the stage. That value is represented in number, and you can type it here in direction field, or you can click on this white arrow in blue circle and drag it, and cat or any kind of sprite will rotate here on the stage. Default state is 90 degrees, and that means point to the right. The problem which we have here is that our cat is turning upside down, and that is called rotation style. So we have a couple of options here for the rotation style. First one says left, right, second don't rotate, and third one is all around. Let's try with don't rotate, and this block set rotation style can be used, as we have explained here, for our point in direction. You can sometimes use blocks, you will have to use sometimes blocks in every for every key pressed. So for example, we have used when the right arrow key is pressed, point in direction 90, when it moves to the left, point in -90, but sometimes you will use them also here connected to the when green flag is clicked. Why? Because you want your game to start like that and to be like that forever. So this is where we are going to use our set rotation style. We are going to use it under our when green flag clicked. Why? Because we want our game to start with one rotation style, and we want that rotation style to stay forever, and we don't want to change that rotation style in our game. So we don't want to change it when we press right, up, left or down. No, it would make no sense. We want our cat to rotate same way from the start of the game, that is when the green flag is clicked, and forever. And that is achieved by pointing and attaching it here. But we have to see what that block is working in action. Okay, so first rotation style which we will try is don't rotate. As its name says, don't rotate means that your character, your sprite will never rotate. No matter what you define later, what kind of rotation, it will always stay it will always stay as in the beginning. In the beginning we have said point in direction 90, that means right, and then we said set rotation style to don't rotate, which means stay forever pointing in that direction, stay forever looking at right, pointing to the 90 degrees. Let's see that in action. So when I press the right arrow, it looks good. When I press the left arrow, it doesn't rotate. We don't have upside down rotation no more. Why? Because we said it here, don't rotate, rotation style don't rotate. So this doesn't work for us. It will keep the first rotation which we have defined first, and it will stay like that forever. If you are a little bit confused, let's explain it here once more with different kind of rotation. So for example, if your cat was pointing in 45 degrees at the start, then later if you say don't rotate, never ever, then your cat will always say stay pointing in direction 45. So now when I press the green flag, cat will first rotate to point in direction 45, and it will stay like that forever, which is not working, and I don't know why. Pointing in direction, I will have to yeah, because I have yeah, I will explain it here later, because I have to explain this first. Okay, I have to explain these two options here, and then I will show it like how it looks when it points in direction 45, and then it will make sense. For now, because the last block here was don't rotate, the cat remembered that style and it didn't allow it to rotate to 45 degrees. It makes no sense maybe for now, but just stay with me. Okay, first style was don't rotate, and our cat is not now doesn't rotate if we move to the left, to the right, to the top, or to the bottom. And maybe sometimes you will want that for your game. We don't want it for our game. We want it to move, to rotate to the left when it goes to the left, and right when it goes to the right. And this first option, left, right, maybe that will work for us. That makes sense. We want our cat to rotate to the left when it goes to the left, and right when it goes to the right. Let's try with that option. Change it, and then press the green flag. Right works, up works, down works. Let's see for the left. Yeah, great. So that was it. That was the only thing that we have needed to change to make our game looking better. Set rotation style to left, right, and that's it. That's the one thing. And the second thing was to define the movement here, control movement here, and pointing in different directions. So combining this point in direction left and set rotation style to the left, right, you will achieve the effect which we have wanted here, and that is to make like some kind of platformer game where we can move our character left, right, up and down, and it will turn according to our keyboard. This looks great for me, at least for our game. Cat is now turning to the left, turning to the right when needed. That works fine. If you are confused with why we have put this here, I think you can also put this set rotation style if you want here, if it makes more sense for you, but it's better to do it here. So our game will start like that, and it will keep it that way for as long as we have until we have changed it. For example, if I need to change my direction style later, I could rotation style, pardon. if I need to change my rotation style later, for example, if I will just now show it, I will detach this, then duplicate this, and for example, if you have some kind of complex game, I will show it here not to confuse you. If you have some kind of complex game with a lot of code, and for example your rotation style, your game start with left-right rotation style, and then later you change it, maybe you need your character to go to don't rotate or all around. We will explain this in a few seconds. But if you have to change it in some kind of different rotation style, you will just click it here on different. So first we have one rotation style, and later in code we have another, and this one, the latest, will be read as the last, and that's how it will act in the game. So sometimes you will need it, but I think it's very, very rare. I just wanted to show you that it's possible to sometimes to change your rotation style a couple of times. Okay, that's for this left-right rotation style. And for the last option we have this all around. This all around is actually default state for rotation in Scratch, and that's what we have had from the start. That means that cat will now turn around upside down. So this is default Scratch state. It doesn't make sense for you now because we are making some kind of platformer game where our character can move only left, right, up and down in straight lines. We don't have option for our character to move in some diagonal moves, some diagonal way. So for us this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense, so we will switch it to left and right. So this makes sense for our game, and this works fine. So that's what we have needed here for this game, just to pick set rotation style, and that's the block which we have needed. And the thing which I wanted to explain earlier, just a second to think about how to explain it best. Yeah, I will explain it. Maybe it's better to explain it on this arrow. We have our arrow, red arrow sprite on the screen. It points to the right when I press right arrow key, up when I press. Oh, it doesn't. I have changed its direction also, so it's confused. Yeah, that's what I want to explain here now. Okay, so let's find this when green flag clicked to define how our game is starting, and let's find this new motion which we have explained here, which says set rotation style, and that's it. And as I said, default state is all around. So default state is that our sprite can rotate upside down and move in any direction. So when I press right, it goes to the right. When I press up, it goes to the up, down, left. This works great, and this makes sense because yeah, I will move this sprite here so you can see better. Yeah, just look now at the cat, how it's behaving, and look now at the arrow sprite, how it's behaving. For rotation style, for arrow, I set rotation style to all around, and for cat I set rotation style to left right. So rotation style for cat and for arrow are different. Rotation style for cat is left right, rotation style is, for arrow is all around. So we have two different sprites, two different rotation styles, but when I press right up, they left, no, I will press only right and left. Right, cats looks to the right, arrow looks to the right, left, cats look to the left, arrow looks to the left. So these two sprites are different. They are different with they are coded with different code. Cat is coded with rotation style left right, arrow is coded with rotation style all around, but they look and behave same on our stage. How is that possible? That is connected to what I was explaining before, and that is this cat is not top-down sprite, and this arrow should be looked as top-down sprite. That means that you should think of it as it's made for looking at from above, from the top-down sprite, like I was explaining for top-down shooters, for Grand Theft Auto first game and so on, which maybe another game, Hotline Miami maybe, and so on. So what I wanted to explain here, I'm probably confusing you more than explaining, but what I want to explain here is that sometimes you will use different rotation style to achieve same effect. So it depends on how your sprite is made. My arrow sprite is top-down sprite, so I can use rotation style all around, and my cat is not top-down sprite, so I have to use rotation style left right. If I have used the same rotation style all around for the cat as I'm using for the arrow, the cat will turn upside down, and that problem we had before. So I hope that's clearer here now. And the only thing I wanted to show here is that if you use don't rotate for the arrow, it won't rotate no matter how many times you press left, right, up and down, as we have explained for cat. So it works for any kind of sprite. And left, right, if we use that, it will work only left and right, no matter if you press top or down arrow keys. For the arrow, it doesn't change its look. So that's it for this block, and I owe you explanation for that point in direction, but I think I will explain it easier on arrow. So I will just find that point in direction. So when my game is starting, I'm pointing in direction 90 with my arrow, and my rotation style is all around. And it works great, but I think I have changed it to 45. Yeah. So when I change this to 45 and then change my rotation style, for example, to left, right, no, don't rotate. Yeah, it will snap to different. Yeah, that's what I wanted. I think that's what I wanted. I will have to look to watch my video so I can see where I got confused here with the cat sprite. But the whole idea was to watch out when you change this direction and rotation styles. Sometimes you won't see the. Sometimes it will affect your games in terms of the last change you made on the sprite. That's how your sprite will start again when you start the game again. That's what I wanted to say. It sounds confusing, yeah, but you can see it here when I start the game here with arrow, although I am saying point in direction 45 because my rotation style is left right, and because I have changed it I have used it and tested it. It will always start with arrow pointing to the right, to 0. It will show like, hey, I'm pointing to the 45, to some kind of diagonal angle, but actually, because our rotational style is left-right, it will always start with the same. But if we change this for all around, it will work nice. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So anyway, you have to play with those options, you have to play with those scratch blocks. They are simple, but you have to be careful about them, when to use them and how to use them. In general, you will define those rotation styles mostly at the start of your game, as I have did here, when the green flag is clicked. So then you define your starting options for your character, so that's it, and then you use that same rotation for your game all the time. Sometimes for some games you will change your rotation style, but that is very, very rare. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope I will see you guys in next one. If you have some questions, type them in the comments, and keep on scratching, keep on learning the new stuff. Bye for now.